Go ahead and get started. I'm Sandy Merritt. I'm a business coach with Action Coach Bluegrass here in Louisville, Kentucky. It should be a beautiful May day, but it's kind of cloudy and gray out there. That's okay. We are coming out of our quarantine here in Kentucky. We are starting to reopen things and being very cautious about it. So the reason I even put this webinar together is because I've been getting a lot of questions, people saying, I don't feel right marketing at this time. And there are a lot of reasons for that. They feel uncomfortable, they feel like they're pushing, they feel like people are not ready to receive the message. And so when they say, should I be marketing at this time? The answer is absolutely yes. This is a critical time for you to have your message out there. Because right now, you need to be connecting with your customers, with the people in your networks, with your suppliers and any investors you have, and most importantly, with your community. So right now, we not only need to let people know that we're getting ready to reopen or possibly are open, or what form we're open in, but it's really important that we send a message to the community that we're going to go back to some type of normalcy. It's going to be different than it was in February. We all know that. Getting the word out that we're still here, we're still going to be doing business, we're still here to serve you, that's the message that you need to be getting out to the world right now. So let's back up. What is the purpose of marketing? Why do we do it? And the job of marketing is to buy customers. Marketing is an investment. Every customer costs you money. Your advertising, marketing, social media, all of that has a cost associated with it. But rather than look at it as an expense, look at it as an investment. Because once you buy that customer, you have the ability to keep them long term. And the value there is that, yes, there's a cost to buy the customer the first time. But if you keep that customer and they keep coming back over and over again, then you don't have that cost. That's when marketing becomes an investment. So the whole reason we do marketing is to get long-term customers. Our reality has shifted. It's a different world, and your message needs to shift as well. It's important that you reflect the current situation. You need to be softening the message a little bit. You've got to be empathetic. You've got to engage with your customers, and you've got to educate them. And that education can take a lot of forms. One form in particular might be, how are you cleaning your facility? How are you taking care of your team members? Do I have to wear a mask to go into your place of business? You've got to tell the market all of those things. Earlier this year, we were in a booming economy and we were selling. We need to shift that message from sell and ask to help and give. Here's how you can shop safely in my store. Here is what we're doing to take care of our employees. That's the message that people are looking for, and that's what's resonating with them right now. The other thing that you want to do in your message is say how you are adding value. How are you contributing to the customer's family's well-being? How are you contributing to the community? How are you taking care of your team members? That's one of the things that people are really looking for. Do you add value to the community, to your people, to your customer? What is it that makes you a better choice over someone else? And if all you're doing is lowering your price, that's not going to win. Again, with your message shifting, start off by acknowledging we're in a different situation than we were a few months ago. Life has changed. You may need to switch your products and your services. There may be something that it's not appropriate for you to be doing right now. There may be, say, a high-end item that's a real luxury item that people are not interested in. It may be something where people have to come into your store and there's a lot of touching or interaction. Not going to be able to do that for a little while. But you probably have other products or services that you can sell. And so part of your marketing message is telling people what that is. As I mentioned, not everything feels right. For example, if you saw an ad for a clinic, how you can get there, how you can get tested for COVID-19, and then the next ad you saw was for Rolex, you probably wouldn't be receptive to the Rolex ad right now. That's not to say that people aren't buying them, but that's just not the right message for today. Your message should focus on people. If you notice, a lot of the grocery stores or some of the other services in town, instead of doing the big ads that say, here are the products we're pushing and this is on sale this week, instead, they're thanking their team members. They're showing their employees. There are a number of messages right now featuring the frontline employees, whether they are delivery people or grocery store workers, and of course, all of our healthcare workers. And there's some really beautiful commercials out there acknowledging those people. And good for those organizations, because what's happening is they are sending out a message that they care and that they're helping the community and they want to support it. And in turn, people are going to support those businesses. So focusing on people rather than products is a really good strategy for right now. Everything you do, be positive. Fear does not help right now. In the business world, we have the opportunity to be leaders with positive messages and a positive outlook. And one of the easiest ways to do that is to start with gratitude. You can put that into your marketing message. What are you grateful for? You're grateful for your team members, for your family's health, for being able to reopen. You're grateful for your customers. Those kinds of messages are what people really need right now. That's what we're looking for. Panic and worry never helps. If you want to sell hand sanitizer and you want to run a fear campaign, people are going to remember that more so than the fact that you had hand sanitizer, that you frightened them into it. Leave anger and frustration out of your message. There are a lot of people who were very frustrated by being shut down with very little notice. And they really want to open up now. They don't want to wait for the government to tell them when they can open up. They're angry, they're frustrated, they've lost a lot of money. I get it. Everybody's been in that situation. That is not the message that you want to be sending to your customers. Leave your anger outside the door. Your message needs to be positive. In your message, let people know what you can offer, not focusing on what's not available. What can you offer and how do they get it? What are the procedures? Can people come into your storefront? Can they come into your office? Do you have curbside? There are some churches doing drive-through sacraments, which is very creative, very wonderful. We've gotten really good at new ways of delivery, but your customer has to know how they can get the product or service from you. So focus on the positive. Here's what we can offer you. Here's how you get it from us. One of the most important things for you to do right now is update your website. Make sure that the content is current. For example, in your headers and footers, if you're not in the office right now, if you're working from home, then yes, you want your office address on there. I don't think you should publish your home address, but make sure that if there's a phone number that it's being forwarded to you or that your cell phone is on there. A lot of times in the headers and footers of a website, people have their hours. Make sure you're updating that if you have restricted your hours or changed them from your normal. Add a blog or a vlog. It is proven that sites that have that kind of content get far more hits than if you just have a page up there with your name and a pretty picture. Make sure that your Facebook, your Twitter, your Instagram, your whatever else you're using, all of that needs to be linked to your website. You constantly want to be directing people to your website. It's great to put content on Instagram, but there's a limit to what you can put there. So keep directing people to your site. It's important that you have original content and that you don't repeat the same thing on different pages. We've all done a lot of writing, a lot of blogs, a lot of articles. Whatever you do, don't plagiarize. In today's world, you will be found out. There's a lot of information out there that you can share and you can provide links to it, but make sure you're using your own words. If you are quoting someone, give them credit. Make sure that if you say something, you've got the facts to back it up. And now's a really good time to just spruce up whatever images you're using on your website. This is something that takes a few minutes, but has really, really big dividends. So take the time to do it now. We're in spring. We're coming out of this very strange situation. Time to freshen things up. Everything is changing so rapidly. Your hours, your policies, all of that needs to be current. I know not everyone can update their own website, but it is worth the time and money to make sure your information is current. So it's something that would be worth setting a calendar reminder once or twice a week. Take a look at that. And as things change, on your to-do list is update your website. So let's talk about blogs and vlogs. And I hope you can see this graphic. If not, it's out on Google or I can send it to you. Blogging is good for your business. It really does draw people in. If you are not familiar with what a blog is, it's short for weblog, and it's information that's of interest to your customers. The first thing you want to do is have a compelling lead or a headline that draws people in. Once they're there, then you want to give them some kind of information. Typically, 800 to 1,500 words, that's plus or minus. If you've only got 200 words, maybe that's a post for LinkedIn or Facebook. So you want to have some substance to what you're writing or talking about. A vlog is a video blog. There are some people who are very comfortable in front of a camera, so they prefer to speak. So a blog is written, a vlog is video. When you're writing, especially if you're headed towards the 1,500 words, use subheadlines and make sure that you're putting separate paragraphs in. Break up the text so that it's easy for people to read. Make sure that you have keywords and search phrases in there so that if somebody does a search, they will find your blog, which then takes them to, of course, your website. And use graphics and images. Nobody wants to read a big old block of text. There's plenty of images out there that you can grab that are free, that are appropriate. Again, might take a few extra minutes, but it just gives your blog a very professional finish to it. Make sure that you have a strong call to action within your blog. If you are teaching people how to take care of their family, how to prevent the spread of disease, have very specific steps that they should do. If you want to tell people how to market their product, give them steps that they need to do. If you are educating people on what a business coach does, then in my case, my call to action is going to be to offer a free coaching session. A strong call to action gets you the business at the end. You want to include links to other people, other articles, other polls. Make sure that it's not just your voice, just your opinion. And you can certainly express your opinions in there, but you're sharing information. So in particular, if you've used another source, make sure that you acknowledge that and put links in there. In 1,500 words, you're not going to cover everything about a topic. So if someone truly is interested Include the links, and it could be to more of your material or it could be to an outside source. But give them somewhere to go if they want more information. When you're doing a blog or a vlog, it is not an academic paper. It's really more of a conversation than a lecture. You want it to be informative, you want it to be engaging, maybe entertaining. You can use a little bit of humor, but it's not a strict, oh, I'm going to use this as part of my research. Your whole point is to inform people and hopefully to start a conversation with them. My biggest tip for a vlog or anytime you're doing a short video, I do have a stand for my phone and I have a remote and I've used that. But what has worked really well for me recently is I start up a Zoom meeting just with myself. I just start a meeting and I record it. And that way I can kind of stop and start and I can edit that video. So obviously you're all here on Zoom. You know how to use Zoom. If you do want to do a video, that's my tip for the day. You need to make your content memorable. So your site can stand out from the crowd if it does these 5 things. It entertains, it inspires, it educates, informs, and opens a dialogue. You want to infuse energy into your message. Make sure your customers know the next step to take. So what I have on here is just a quick checklist, 10 things to know before you buy a car. It could be 10 things to know before buying a mattress. 10 things to ask your business coach. I'm going to use this to educate my client so that when they do talk to me, they know what questions to ask or they've done their research ahead of time. So a checklist is just one example. Use your marketing to educate your clients, your customers, inspire them. One of my all-time favorite billboards here in Kentucky was for Tattoo Charlie's. And it was on the interstate, up on a hill, and it said, tattoos done while you wait. And it always made me smile and chuckle. Think about it. Of course, the tattoo has to be done while you wait. It's not like I can say, oh, here's my wrist, I'll be back Thursday for it. So the humor of that always stood out to me. And even though the billboard's been gone for a few years, it's one I still remember. So it is okay to entertain people, but make sure that you're also informing them and open the dialogue. Have them set up an appointment. Here's how you contact us. You want more information? Give me a call. Send me an email. Open that dialogue so that people can take the next step. So we talked about videos a little bit. Videos are very engaging for people. If you're reading, you're using one sense. How many of you have been on a conference call that has just gone on and on and on? As soon as you add video, which is why these Zoom meetings have been so successful, we're engaging multiple senses. So adding videos to your marketing mix is a great way to get people's attention. So there's several things you can do. First might be host a live interview. This could be an interview. It could be somebody interviewing you about why your product is better than someone else's. It could be a self-interview. I want to tell you today how a new window will improve your home. Daily check-ins or tips are also a great way to get your message out. So it could be 3 quick tips for keeping your home safe, or here's a great tip when you're interviewing for new employees. So short videos, usually under a couple of minutes. Make sure that your content is good. Don't worry about getting scenery, about getting props, or making sure that the video is absolutely perfect. If it's short and you have a good message, that has more value. And make sure that it's genuine, that you're not stiff. Talk to someone, put your child on the other side of the camera or whatever it is going to take for you to do that. but act like you're having a conversation with someone. Nobody really has time for a lot of fluff right now. I'm sure that's a great joke, but not really going to get your message out. And then see what kind of response that you get. If your customers respond to a message, then build on that. If it's something that you think is really critical that people need to know, but nobody watches the video, then you've wasted your time. So pay attention to what your customers are responding to and track that engagement. For example, if you are using Facebook Live, Facebook will show you how many people clicked on your video and at least started watching it. It doesn't tell you if they watched it all the way to the end. We are all spending a lot of time in front of our screens. Long videos are really not going to keep people's attention. Shorter is better. When you're emailing, know who you're sending it to. Test and measure. That means see how many people opened that email. If nobody opened it, retool it. Personalize it as much as possible. If it says, "Dear Sandy," I'm far more likely to read beyond the greeting. Consider how often that you are sending emails. Don't bury your customers, but make sure you're staying in touch with them. And reward your loyal customers. Make sure that they get content that other people don't. And maybe they get a special offer that other people don't get. Your subject line is critical. You can have the best email in the world, but it doesn't matter if nobody opens the email. Not everybody should get every email. If you are marketing towards people in Louisville, Kentucky, you don't want to send that same message to somebody who's in Chicago, Illinois. Make it clear who you are and why you're sending the email. And of course, make sure that you're adhering to the GDRP. For example, if somebody opts out, if they want to unsubscribe, then make sure that you take them off of your distribution list. When you post on social media, as we mentioned, keep your message positive. Your existing customers are your best customers. So make sure you're selling what they need and reward them with loyalty. Make sure they are following you on social media so that they get those special offers. Whatever you put on social media, make sure it grabs people. Keep it simple. You don't have to do a lot of text. A good graphic and a headline, here's the offer code, maybe all you need. And as we mentioned earlier, always link your social media to your website. And ads should be customized. If you're using something like Facebook ads, you can get very specific. You can use demographics. Do you want this to go to women or men? Do you want it to go to Louisville, Kentucky, or do you want it to go globally? Do you want a certain age group? You can customize all of those ads. And for right now, feature people as well as your products. We are all redefining how we look at our community. I want to know who the owner of the business is. I want to know who the team members are. There's a local hardware store here that every one of their quarterly flyers has pictures of the people who work in the store. And it's just a nice touch that says, yes, we are a team. And it makes it very, very memorable. Another thing you can do is profile a customer. I know a lot of nonprofits do this with regular volunteers. They include that in their advertising. And that really encourages people to not only support the organization, but maybe to volunteer themselves. Make sure you're using common sense. And especially at this time, compassion. Over-deliver on customer service. People are very tense right now and short-fused. So deliver on your promises. Explain how you are protecting your customers and your staff. If that's a sign on the door or however you're going to do it, make sure people know when they walk into your facility or they do business with you, they are safe and your employees are also being taken care of. Put the people first, whether it's your customer, whether it's your team, whether it's your family. People are more important than profit. If you put the people first, the profit will come. Be nice. I've seen a lot of short tempers in the few times I've ventured out to the grocery store. Step back, chill, let other people be tense. You just be nice. Please don't feed the panic. If you don't know something to be a fact, don't state it. If somebody is trying to draw you into that fear and panic, step back. That is not the message that any of us need to be sending. And be calm and be empathetic to people. You may have a customer who's very angry right now. It probably has nothing to do with you. We're all a little bit angry at the situation because it's out of our control. Just try and stay calm and be empathetic. Make sure you have a plan. You should be doing more marketing, not less. Have a plan for this week, next week, and the following week after that. Make sure you know what it is you're going to be doing. As we mentioned, be positive. This is the time to send a positive message. And be compassionate. Make sure that you're being sensitive to what your customers are feeling and thinking right now. Make sure that you have the right message for right now. Now is not the time to tell me that I need to buy this new car because it's going to get great gas mileage and all this other stuff. I want to know that the car is safe. I want to know there are limited people in the showroom when I come to talk to you. So gear your message for the situation right now in your community. So, as I said, you need to have a call to action. And my call to action is to offer each of you a 60-minute free business diagnostic where you and I can sit down and talk, look at your business, see what's going on, and put together a plan for you to move forward. There's my phone number up there, or you can go to actioncoachbluegrass.com to learn more. We do a number of these kind of webinars, and if you go to actioncoachbluegrass.com, there's an events page, and I'd love to have you join me for some of the others, as well as Mark McNulty, who is the other coach at Action Coach Bluegrass. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. Get the word out. Keep it positive. Keep it compassionate. Our community needs you as a business owner, as whatever service or product you have. It's important that you're here and that you're successful. So let people know that you're here. And if I can do anything to help, I would love to talk to you. Thanks again, everyone. Have a great day, and I hope to see and hear from you soon. Bye.